one state runner-up, 2 who made it to the Final Four. So I think we're doing fairly well so far. I want to make some thanks this morning first for a lot of people who've done a lot of work. On a national scale, I want to thank the Poetry Foundation of Chicago and the National Endowment for the Arts for providing the funding for this program. Here in Arizona, I want to thank the Arizona Commission on the Arts for their work in sponsoring the program. At the University of Arizona, the Poetry Center is very, very helpful in organizing our programs, and they will be hosting the regional contest. And here at St. Gregory, I want to thank Dr. Kate Oob, chair of the English department, who has worked tirelessly to get this program and all the details necessary for it controlled. And I want to thank the other English teachers, Ms. Corinne Bancroft and Ms. Elizabeth Young, for spending the last 4 weeks with you guys working on poetry. I also want to thank the teachers and the administrators who spent time coming to class to be our judges. We really do appreciate that. It's very, very important that you have done that for us. The competition this morning is quite simple. Most of you know how it works, but I'll refresh your memories. There are 13 contestants down here in the front row. There are 2 rounds. Each contestant will come up here, recite 1 poem per round. They will come in alphabetical order. They will be judged on things like physical presence, voice and articulation. They will also be judged on accuracy and their understanding of the poems. Now, who will be doing the judging? That's the big question. So if we could have the house lights up for a moment. We have 3 wonderful judges here this morning. I'll introduce them. They all have St. Gregory connections, I'm glad to say, although they do not know any of the contestants. So, judge number 1, if you'll raise your hand, this is our Mr. Artin Arab Shahi. Yes, sir. Mr. Arab Shahi is a 2009 graduate of St. Gregory. He is currently finishing up at the U of A in studying finance. He tells me he's going to LA after he graduates to become a big shot. But Artin has graced this stage many, many times in previous productions, so he knows the stage well. Our second judge is Ms. Jean Hoffman. Ms. Hoffman is also a graduate of St. Gregory. She graduated in 1999. She went on to get degrees at Yale and Harvard. She was hailed recently by the Arizona Daily Star newspaper as one of the under 40 up-and-coming leaders to watch for. She she has developed, actually founded, with a co-founder, a group called 9 Queens, which is an organization that attempts to bring chess and the joy of chess to people in, especially women and young children and people in underrepresented areas. She also, because of that, gets to hang out with members of Wu-Tang Clan, I found out. See, that's already a reference that these students don't know, some of them. And I should hasten to add that she is one of the board members of our Board of Trustees. Our third judge, Dr. Mark Musari, taught AP English here several years ago. He is currently teaching several courses in design at the University of Arizona, and he is an expert in all things Danish. He has his PhD in Danish literature and studies Danish culture and Danish design. Now, they will be making the decisions. Oh, before I forget, we have 2 judges down here as well. Dr. Oob will be the accuracy judge, and Ms. Young will be our prompter. The judges will be choosing 2 winners today and 1 runner-up. The 2 winners will go on to the regional, Southern Arizona Regional Contest, which will be in early March, March the 2nd. It's a Saturday, so you can all come at the U of A Poetry Center, where they will compete against other contestants from all over Southern Arizona. The winners, 3 winners from that contest will go to the state contest in Phoenix in late March, and from that contest, 1 lucky person who's worked very hard will get an all-expenses free paid trip to Washington, Washington, D.C. to perform and recite in the national contest. So that's what we're about this morning. I just want to remind you, most of you, those of you in the upper school know, because you've done this already in your own classes, know how nerve-wracking and difficult this can be. Now magnify that feeling and magnify the nerve-wrackingness and the difficulty of it by a lot, and you understand how important it is to be a good audience, how important it is to be respectful and appreciative and supportive of our contestants. So, we will now start with round one. The first contestant will please come forward.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Couch, and I will be reciting Weighing In by Rena P. Espaillat. What the scale tells you is how much the earth has missed you, body. How it wants you back again after you leave it to go forth into the light. Do you remember how earth hardly noticed you then? Others would rock you in their arms, warm in the flow that fed you, coaxed you upright. Then, earth began to claim you with spots and fevers, began to look at you with a bruised knee, a bloody shin, and finally, to stoke you, body. Drumming intimate coded messages through music you dance to unawares, there in your dreaming and your poems and your obedient blood. Body, how useful you became, how lucky, heavy with news and breakage, rich and sad sometimes, imagining that greedy zero you must have been, that promising empty sack of possibilities never to come tomorrow. But look at you now, body, soft old shoe that love wears when it's stirring. Look down. Look how earth wants what you weigh, needs what you know.
My name is Sierra Decker, and I will be reciting Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Good morning. My name is Noah Deitch, and I'll be reciting a poem by Emma Lazarus titled The New Colossus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed sunset gates, shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning. And her name? Mother of Exiles. From her beaconed hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
My name is Chloe Durand, and I will be reciting The Tide Rises, The Tide Falls by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The tide rises, the tide falls. The twilight darkens, the curlew calls. Along the sea sands, damp and brown, the traveler hastens toward the town. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Darkness settles on roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. The little waves, with their soft, white hands, efface the footprints in the sands. And the tide rises, the tide falls. The morning breaks, the steeds in their stalls stamp and neigh as the hostler calls. The day returns, but nevermore returns the traveler to the shore. And the tide rises, the tide falls.
Hello, my name is Amanda Gomez, and I will be reciting Learning to Love America by Shirley Gioke Lin Lim. Because it has no pure products. Because the Pacific Ocean sweeps along the coastline. Because the water of the ocean is cold. And because land is better than ocean. Because I say we rather than they. Because I live in California, I have eaten fresh artichokes and jacaranda bloom in April and May. Because my senses have caught up with my body, my breath with the air swallows, my hunger with my mouth. Because I walk barefoot in my house. Because I have nursed my son at my breast. Because he's a strong American boy. Because I have seen his eyes redden when he is asked who he is. Because he answers, I don't know. Because to have a son is to have a country. Because my son will bury me here. Because countries are in our blood, and we bleed them. Because it is late, and too late to change my mind. Because it is time. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Emma Herrick, and I will be reciting Walt Whitman's Song of Myself, section 35. Would you hear of an old-time sea fight? Would you learn who won by the light of the moon and stars? List to the yarn as my grandmother's father, the sailor, told it to me. Our foe was no skulk in his ship, I tell you, said he. His was the surly English pluck, and there is no tougher or truer, and never was, and never will be. Along the lowered eve, he came horribly raking us. We closed with him, the yards entangled, the cannon touched. My captain lashed fast with his own hands. We had received some 18-pound shots under the water. On our lower gun deck, 2 large pieces had burst at the first fire, killing all around and blowing up overhead. Fighting at sundown, fighting at dark. 10 o'clock at night, the full moon well up, our leaks on the gain, and 5 feet of water reported. The master-at-arms loosing the prisoners confined in the afterhold to give them a chance for themselves. The transit to and from the magazine is now stopped by the sentinels. They see so many strange faces. They do not know whom to trust. Our frigate takes fire. The other asks if we demand quarter, if our colors are struck and the fighting done. Now I laugh content, for I hear the voice of my little captain. "We have not struck," he composedly cries. "We have just begun our part of the fighting. Only 3 guns are in use. One is directed by the captain himself against the enemy's main mast. 2 well served with grape and canister silence his musketry and clear his decks. The tops alone second the fire in this little battery, especially the main top. They hold out bravely during the whole of the action. Not a moment sees. The leaks gain fast on the pumps. The fire eats toward the powder magazine. One of the pumps has been shot away. It is generally thought we are sinking. Serene stands the little captain. He is not hurried. His voice is neither high nor low. His eyes give more light to us than our battle lanterns. Toward 12, there, under the beams of the moon, they surrender to us.
Hello, my name is Diana Hurtado, and I'll be reciting The Soldier, 1914 by Rupert Brooke. If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by sons of home. And think, this heart, all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind no less, gives somewhere back the thoughts by England given, her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends and gentleness in hearts at peace under an English heaven.
Hello, I'm Leah Mann, and I will be reciting Joni Mikowski's The Larger. I don't know how it happened, but I fell, and I was immense. One dislocated arm, wedged between two buildings. I felt some ribs had broken, perhaps a broken neck too. I couldn't speak. My dress caught bunched about my thighs, and where my glasses shattered, there'd spread something like a seacoast, or maybe it was a port. Where my hair tangled with power lines, I felt a hot puddle of blood. I must have passed out. But when I woke, a crew of about 50 was building a winding stairway beside my breast and buttressing a platform on my sternum. I heard, as through cotton, the noise of hammers, circular saws, laughter, and some radio droning songs about love. Out the corner of one eye, I could open one eye a bit. I saw my pocketbook, its contents scattered, my lipstick's toppled silo glinting, out of reach. And then, waving a tiny flashlight, a man entered my ear. I felt his boots sloshing, the blood trickling there. He never came out. So some went looking, with flares, dogs, dynamite even. They burst my middle ear and found my skull, its cavern crammed with dark matter like a cross between a fungus and a cloud. They never found his body though, and they never found or tried to find an explanation, I think, for me. They didn't seem to need one. Even now, my legs subdue that dangerous sea, the water bright enough to cut the skin, where a lighthouse, perched on the tip of my great toe, each 8 seconds rolls another flawless pearl across the waves. It keeps most ships from wrecking against my feet. On clear days, people stand beside the lights. They watch the waves' blue heads slip up and down and scan for landmarks on the facing shore.
Hello, I'm Alex Nessie, and I will be reciting Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Polimana Joshrema, and I will be performing The Room by Conrad Aiken. Through that window, all else being extinct except itself and me, I saw the struggle of darkness against darkness. Within the room it turned and turned, dived downward. Then I saw how order might, if chaos wished, become, and saw the darkness crush upon itself, contracting powerfully. It was as if it killed itself, slowly and with much pain. Pain. The scene was pain and nothing but pain. What else when chaos draws all forces inward to shape a single leaf? For the leaf came, alone and shining in the empty room. After a while, the twig shot downward from it, and from the twig a bough, and then the trunk, massive and coarse, and last, the one black root. The black root cracked the walls, boughs burst the window. The great tree took possession. Tree of trees, remember when time comes, how chaos died to shape the shining leaf. Then turn, have courage, wrap arms and roots together, be convulsed with grief, and bring back chaos out of shape. I will be watching then, as I watch now. I will praise darkness now, but then the leaf. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alex Tinley, and I will be reciting Hap by Thomas Hardy. If but some vengeful god would call to me from up the sky and laugh, "Thou suffering thing, know that thy sorrow is my ecstasy, that thy love's loss is my hate's profiting," then would I bear it, clench myself, and die steeled by the sense of ire unmerited, half-eased in that a powerfuler than I had willed and meted me the tears I shed? But not so. How arrives it joy lies slain? And why unblooms the best hope ever sown? Crass casualty obstructs the sun and rain, and dicing time for gladness casts a moan. These purblind doomsters had as readily strown blisses about my pilgrimage as pain.
Hello, my name is Andrew Tinley, and I will be reciting Eating Poetry by Mark Strand. Ink runs from the corners of my mouth. There is no happiness like mine. I have been eating poetry. The librarian does not believe what she sees. Her eyes are sad, and she walks with her hands in her dress. The poems are gone. The light is dim. The dogs are on the basement stairs and coming up. Their eyeballs roll. Their blonde legs burn like brush. The poor librarian begins to stamp her feet and weep. She does not understand. When I get on my knees and lick her hand, she screams, I am a new man. I snarl at her and bark. I romp with joy in the bookish dark. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Zoe Womack, and I will be reciting Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace, with fortune in men's eyes, I, all alone, will weep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I enjoy most, contented least. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee. And then my state, like to the lark at break of day, rising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Thank you.
Round one, this is like the Super Bowl, you have to play 2 rounds. So everybody take a big breath. Take another one. You all have your favorite.
Hi, my name is Sierra Decker, and I will be reciting Cartoon Physics Part 1 by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum. Galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing, all of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation. That if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake.
Hello, my name is still Noah Deitch, and I'll be reciting a poem by Mark Doty titled Golden Retrievals. Fetch. Balls and sticks capture my attention, seconds at a time. Catch? I don't think so. Bunny, tumbling leaf, squirrel. Who's, oh joy, actually scared? Sniff the wind, then I'm off again. Muck, pond, ditch, residue, of any thrillingly dead thing. And you? Either you're sunk in the past, half our walk, thinking of what you never can bring back, or else you're off in some fog concerning tomorrow. Is that what you call it? My work, to unsnare time's warp, and woof, retrieving my haze-headed friend you. This shining bark, a Zen master's bronzy gong, calls you here entirely now. Bow wow, bow wow, bow wow. Thank you.
My name is Chloe Durand, and I will be reciting Magnitudes by Howard Nimerov. Earth's wrath at our assaults is slow to come, but relentless when it does. It has to do with catastrophic change and with the limit at which one order more of magnitude will bring us to a qualitative change and disasters drastically different from those we daily have to know about. As with the speed of light, where speed itself becomes a limit and an absolute. As with the splitting of the atom, and a little later of the nucleus. As with the millions rising into billions. The piker's kind in terms of money, yes, but a million in terms of time and space. As the universe grew vast, while the earth, our habitat, diminished to the size of a billiard ball, both relative to the cosmos and to the numbers of ourselves, the doubling numbers the earth could accommodate. We stand now in the place and limit of time, where hardest knowledge is turning into dream, and nightmares still contained in sleeping dark seem on the point of bringing into day the sweating panic that starts the sleeper up. One or another nightmare may come true. And what to do then? What in the world to do?
My name is Amanda Gomez, and I will be reciting Uphill by Christina Rossetti. Does the road wind uphill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place? A roof for when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night? Those who have gone before? Then must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep you standing at that door. Shall I find comfort, travel sore, and weak? Of labor you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yes, beds for all who come. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Herrick, and now I will be reciting David Kirby's poem, Broken Promises. I've met them in dark alleys, limping and one-armed. I have seen them playing cards under a single light bulb, and tried to join in, but they refused me rudely, knowing I would only let them win. I've seen them in the foyers of theaters, coming back late from the interval, long after the others have taken their seats. And in deserted shopping malls, late at night, peering at things they can never buy. And I have found them wandering in a wood where I too have wandered. This morning I caught one, small and stupid, too slow to get away. It was only a promise I had made to myself once, and then forgot. But it screamed and kicked at me and ran to join the others who looked at me with reproach in their long, sad faces. When I drew near them, they scurried away, even though they will sleep in my yard tonight. I hate them for their ingratitude. I, who have kept countless promises, is dead now as Shakespeare's children. You bastards! I scream. You have to love me. I gave you life.
Once again, my name is Diana Hurtado, and I'll be reciting The Maid's Lament by Walter Savage Landor. I loved him not, and yet, now he is gone, I feel I am alone. I checked him while he spoke, yet could he speak? Alas, I would not check. To vex myself and him, I now would give my love could he but live, who lately lived for me. And when he found 'twas vain in holy ground, he hid his face amid the shades of death. I waste for him my breath, who wasted his for me. But mine returns, and this lorn bosom burns with stifling heat, heaving it up in sleep, and wakes me to weep. Tears that had melted his soft heart for years, wept he as bitter tears. Merciful God, such was his last prayer. These may she never share. Quiet is his breath, and his bosom cold, like daisies in the mold, where children spell athwart the churchyard gate his name and life's brief date. Pray for him, gentle souls, wherever you be, and oh, pray too for me.
Hello, I'm Leah Mann, and I will be reciting Phyllis Wheatley's On Virtue. Oh, thou bright jewel in my aim, I strive to comprehend thee,
Thine own words declare, wisdom is higher than a fool can reach. I cease to wonder, and no more attempt thine height to explore, or fathom thy profound. But, O my soul, sink not into despair. Virtue is near thee, and with gentle hand would now embrace thee, hovers o'er thine head. Fain would the heaven-born soul with her converse, then seek, then court her for her promised bliss. Auspicious queen, thine heavenly pinions spread, and lead celestial chastity along. Lo, now her sacred retinue descends, arrayed in glory from the orbs above. Attend me, virtue, through my youthful years. Oh, leave me not to the false joys of time, but guide my steps to endless life and bliss. Greatness or goodness, say what I shall call thee, to give in higher appellation still. Teach me a better strain, a nobler lay. O thou enthroned with cherubs in the realms of day.
Hello again, I'm Alex Nessie, and I will be reciting The American Soldier by Philip Freneau. Deep in a vale, a stranger now to arms, too poor to shine in courts, too proud to beg, he who once warred on Saratoga's plains sits musing o'er his scars and wooden leg, remembering still the toil of former days. To other hands he sees his earnings paid. They share the due reward. He feeds on praise. Lost in the abyss of want, misfortune's shade, far, far from domes where splendid tapers glare, 'tis his from dear, bought peace, no wealth to win. Removed alike from courtly cringing squires, the great man's levy and the proud man's grin. Sold are those arms which once on Britons blazed, when flushed with conquest to the charge they came. That power repelled and freedom's fabric raised, she leaves her soldier, famine and a name. Thank you.
Hello again, my name is Polimana Joshrema, and I will be performing Solitude by Emma Wheeler. Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. Sing, and the hills will answer. Sigh, it is lost on the air. The echoes bound to a joyful sound, but shrink from voicing care. Rejoice, and men will seek you. Grieve, and they turn and go. They want full measure of all your pleasure, but they do not need your woe. Be glad, and your friends are many. Be sad and you lose them all. There are none to decline your nectared wine, but alone you must drink life's gall. Feast and your halls are crowded. Fast and the world goes by. Succeed and give and it helps you live, but no man can help you die. There's room in the halls of pleasure for a large and lordly train, but one by one we must all file on through the narrow aisles of pain.
Hello, my name is Alex Tinley, and I will be reciting Prisoners by Denis Levertov. Though the road turn at last to death's ordinary door, and we knock there, ready to enter and it opens easily for us, yet all the long journey we shall have gone in chains, fed on knowledge apples, acrid and riddled with grubs. We taste other food that life, like a charitable farm girl holds out to us as we pass, but our mouths are puckered, a taint of ash on the tongue. It's not joy that we've lost. Wildfire, it flares in dark or shine as it will. What's gone is common happiness. Plain bread we could eat with the old apple of knowledge. That old one, it griped us sometimes, but it was firm, tart, sometimes delectable. The ashen apple of these days grew from poisoned soil. We are prisoners and must eat our ration. All the long road in chains, even if, after all, we come to death's ordinary door, with time, smiling its ordinary, long ago, smile.
Hello again, everybody. My name is Andrew Tinley, and I will be reciting The Tide Rises, The Tide Falls by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The tide rises, the tide falls, the twilight darkens, the curlew calls. Along the sea sands, damp and brown, the traveler hastens toward the town. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Darkness settles on roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. The little waves, with their soft white hands, efface the footprints in the sands. And the tide rises, the tide falls. The morning breaks, the steeds in their stalls stamp and neigh as the hostler calls. The day returns, but never more returns the traveler to the shore. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zoe Womack, and I will be reciting Entirely by Louis MacNeice. If we could get the hang of it entirely, it would take too long. All we know is the splash of words in passing and falling twigs of song. And when we try to eavesdrop on the great presences, it is rarely that by a stroke of luck we can appropriate even a phrase entirely. If we could find our happiness entirely in somebody else's arms, we should not fear the spears of the spring, nor the city's yammering fire alarms. But, as it is, the spears each year go through our flesh, and almost hourly, bell or sirens banish the blue eyes of love entirely. And if the world were black or white entirely, and all the charts were plain, instead of a mad weir of tigerish waters, a prism of delight and pain, we might be surer where we wish to go. Or again, we might be merely bored. But in brute reality, there is no road that is right entirely.
My name is Robert Mossman, and I will not be reciting a poem, but I will be praying tonight to the poetry gods and thanking them for allowing me and you to share this wonderful experience this morning. I want to thank the contestants, and I want to thank you, an impeccably beautiful audience. The judges will make their decision, and Mrs. Heinz will hopefully announce it over the loudspeaker later. Thank you all for coming, and thank you again for being a wonderful audience.